Today we're making chicken roulade or chicken roll-ups, which are loaded with flavor and make an excellent make-ahead meal. Hi, and you're watching Plating It with Wendy, where I share with you recipes which impress with ease. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like, share and comment. And if you enjoy trying out recipes that turn out right every time, then go ahead, press that subscribe button. And while you're at it, if you hit the bell icon, you'll be the first one to get notified every time I upload a new video. Now, let's get started. For this recipe, we're going to be filling the chicken roulade with 250 grams of traditional chorizo, or you could use any sausage that you like. Using the kurutsuke knife, you're going to chop the chorizo. We're first just going to take out the outer casing. Now let's chop this up because you want really fine bits. I'm going to chop this up. Really want to dice it up small. We're going to be slicing our chicken roulades later, and so the smaller the pieces of the chorizo, the easier it is to be to slice it up. Let's cross chop it so we get really fine bits. And now that we're done dicing the chorizo, let's transfer it into a bowl. Next, we're going to be using our nikiri knife to cut half a red onion. Just glide it through. Now we're going to cut it into half. And now let's dice it up. So we're just going to cut it down first. Give it one cut in the center. And now we're going to dice. And now let's add the onions to a bowl. This knife does an excellent job when cutting vegetables. And we're going to go in with 2 garlic cloves. Just going to cut off the bottom. Give it a smash to take out the skin. And now let's dice it up. And since we want the garlic to be really fine, let's cross chop it. I also like the way you can lift up everything on the knife and then just slip it into a bowl. For some fresh flavor, we're going to add some finely chopped cilantro. And today I'm really enjoying using these Orme kitchen knives, which are the Sheepdog series, and they're made of premium Damascus steel with a 45-layer fort construction and an AUS 10 steel, which essentially means that the metal used is exceptionally strong, durable, and will not rust. Moreover, it will retain its edge well, and it glides effortlessly through when cutting food with clean, precise cuts. It has a G10 handle, which is highly resistant to heat and cold, and it prevents water and acidity from penetrating through it and discoloring it. And the handle will not break, chip, or get ruined due to wear and tear. This beautiful Damascus steel runs right through the handle, making it very safe because you know that the blade is not going to fall off from the handle. And I really like the well-polished handle with the brass inlays, which gives a sense of luxury and elegance. And they definitely make cooking more fun and enjoyable. Now let's get back to our recipe. This is really a one-pot dish, so if you have a deep oven-proof skillet, you're going to heat it up on a medium heat and add in the chorizo. And into that, you're going to toss in the onions and the garlic. Now we're going to saute this till the onions begin to sweat and the garlic loses its raw flavor. There's no need to add in any oil because the chorizo has enough fat, which is going to help the onions to fry. To help the filling bind inside the roulade, we're going to add half a cup of breadcrumbs. So let's saute that. And we're going to go in with 1.5 tablespoons of vinegar. And to balance out the flavors, we're going to add 3/4 tablespoons of sugar. And if you wanted, you could always skip this. Just going to saute it again. And now we're going to allow it to cook for about 5 minutes so that all the flavors blend together. And to finish it off, we're going to sprinkle on some cilantro. And we don't have to add in any salt because the chorizo contains plenty of salt in it already. We don't want the filling to dry up in a hot pan, so we're going to empty it into a bowl. And now we're going to cover it up and keep it aside while we butterfly the chicken. We're going to go in with 3 chicken breasts and we're going to butterfly them. To butterfly it, we're just going to take one of the chicken breasts and now we're going to butterfly it from this side. And we're once again going to go in with our kuritsuke knife to butterfly it. Use one hand to hold it down firm and then very carefully cut it along on the inside with the knife. You don't want to cut it right through because we want to butterfly it. Now we want to flatten out the chicken so that we get even cooking. So we're going to put a plastic wrap and now we're going to place the butterfly chicken breast here and cover it up with a plastic wrap on the top. Now using a meat mallet, we're going to pound it so that we get an even chicken cutlet. We're looking for about 1/4 inch. Make sure not to be too rough on it because you don't want it to tear. Now that we've got a nice flattened cutlet, let's salt the chicken and add some pepper to it. And we're going to do this on both sides. Now be very careful when flipping it over. You don't want to tear the cutlet. Make sure to wash your hands every time you touch the chicken and before you touch anything else. And once again, some pepper. And now we're going to take some of that delicious chorizo filling that we made and we're going to put it down on the chicken cutlet. Just going to spread it around. We're going to make sure that we keep a little bit overhang there because as you roll, the filling is going to move a bit. Now what we're going to do here is take the end towards you and now start rolling up the chicken. Now we're going to roll, roll and roll. And now we're going to take the plastic wrap and roll the chicken roulade up. And catch the 2 ends and we're going to roll it tight. So this way you're going to get a nice round chicken roulade and take the 2 ends and you're just going to twist it. Now our first chicken roulade is all prepped. We're going to keep this aside while we prep the other 2. Now we have our last chicken roulade to be filled up. Just going to go in with all the filling that we have. Now let's roll up the chicken. And now let's roll it up in the plastic wrap. Once again, just going to roll it on our cutting board. Now let's take the 2 ends and give them a twist. The chicken roulades are all prepped. Now let's refrigerate them for about 1 hour. But since we're in a crunch for time, we're going to put them in the freezer for half an hour. And this is the point where you can prep it ahead, refrigerate it, and prepare it just in time to enjoy it. It's been half an hour since the chicken roulade has been in the freezer and they've firmed up a bit. Now we're going to unwrap them and tie them up with the cooking twine before we go ahead to the stove and sear them. At the same time, I've preheated my oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 218 degrees Celsius because we're going to put them into the oven to finish cooking. So I'm going to take out the plastic wrap. See how well it has formed. And I've cut some kitchen twine. I'm going to push it from underneath and then tie it up on the top. And when putting in the twine, twist it around and pull it. This way it stays secure. And now you can tie the second knot. Now we're going to tie the next one. I always like to place the twine approximately where I want to cut it when I slice up the roulade. Take this one from this side And now you can take a pair of kitchen shears and trim off the excess twine. The chicken roulades are now ready to be seared, so come on over to the stove. Let's go ahead and sear them. To the same deep skillet which is heated up, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. Going to swirl that around so the butter mixes with the oil. And now we're going to place the chicken roulades inside the pan and we're going to sear it on all sides. That's going to help to lock in all the flavor and give us a juicy, succulent chicken roulade. Now let's flip it on the other side. You want to get a good sear all around. You've got a good sear on the chicken on all sides. So now let's switch off the heat and place the pan in the oven for the chicken to complete cooking. And that should take around 12 to 14 minutes. The chicken roulade is ready. They're looking so good and tempting, but we're going to allow them to rest for about 5 minutes before we take off the twine and then slice them up to enjoy them. I'm going to snip off the twine. Make sure that you snip off all of them and don't forget any on the chicken. As I had said, we're going to use these lines where we had tied it as a guide. If you're looking to purchase this perfect knife set, I've left the link in the description box below and you can get a 10% discount if you use the code Plating It with Wendy. And now it's time to give the chicken roulade a taste. I'm going to go and put this one. Wow, I think I'm going to put a little lemon on it. This chicken roulade is so delicious. The chicken is so tender and succulent, and it's got so well flavored with the chorizo. You'll want to give this recipe a try. So hop onto my website, platingitwithwendy.com, where you will find the full written recipe. Thanks for watching. See you soon.